Oh, welcome to another Workshop Wednesday, casual conversations for serious workflows brought to you by schoolofbookkeeping.com, where it's keeping you learning QuickBooks your way. How are you, Rachel?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. Just got off
I
that
love your hat.
historic. Yeah, thanks. It's
It's
actually
cool.
my
It looks
late.
really good on you. You usually always wear a baseball cap, but I like
Yeah,
that.
but now I look like a newsboy from
No, you
from
you look
England.
like you're like Peaky Blinders. Do you know what that is?
No.
I don't really know either. I mean, it's a show, but they have that look. They wear like those
Okay.
newsboy caps.
Yeah, yeah. This is actually my late father-in-law's hat, and that was.
Oh,
I'm like, I want that hat.
oh, that's so sweet.
But yeah, after the Kentucky Derby, I feel like I should be wearing like fancier hats.
I know, and I'm sure Teresa wants to wear like fascinators and
Yes,
fancy hats every day.
yeah, and I found out why they're called fascinators because it's fascinating how expensive they are.
Oh, Dan.
Three bills, whew, just for one hat that we'll never wear again, which is up here, and I don't know what we're gonna do with it because, as you know, in an RV, space is limited.
Sometimes a woman just needs to buy something frivolous.
That's right. That's right. They actually do have a nonprofit. We may swing back when we pass through Louisville again. Um, there's a nonprofit that takes the hats, the fancy hats, and then they repurpose them or resell them, and then the proceeds go to like cancer research. It's kind of really
Oh,
neat way
very
to
cool.
give back of and then
Yeah,
not feel so frivolous
yeah.
for the hats. But gotta have hats. There was lots of hats. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post, but there was plenty
Yeah,
of
I know. I've never been
really
there, but I
big
know
hats.
that's a big thing. That's on my bucket list. I want to
Yeah.
go.
Anywho, so as we had mentioned last time, the workshop is um, going to be transitioning after we're done with this series of the new user interface. We've got a few more on the normal delivery method of the of the workshops. But after that, we're going to be taking the workshop indoors. Inside of School of Bookkeeping, we'll be broadcasting the workshops and actually opening it up for people who are able to access the workshop listing. They can participate in the workshops where we can kind of have a open session of questions. And what we found is that when we do these workshops and we share screens and things like that, there potentially could be, personally identifiable information, and we don't want to be, sharing that across the interwebs. So we are going to put them inside. Now, you don't have to pay for, access to that. We do have a free access option at School of Bookkeeping, and I'm looking for the QR code here. There we go. So you can scan that QR code and get free, unlimited access to the workshops. So you can see all the prior ones, as well as when we do go live every Wednesday. So we'll try to keep the same schedule and cadence. Um, at that time, you'll be able to join or hop in, ask your questions, participate. We could see you too if if you want. Not everyone wants to turn on their video, which is totally understandable, or if you're wearing the right hat or not. But um, you can access the workshop listing there for free, and then get notified when we do go live. And if you're able to attend, great. If not, you can always watch the replay. So we are going to continue our second in this series of the kind of going over the user interface changes that now that the dust is kind of settled, we hope.
Yeah, we've all been
uh,
forced.
right, right. I wanted to ask you, Rachel, and we kind of talked about it last week. When something changes like that, and especially when it's something like the bank feeds that we're going to be talking about, when it's something that is so used, you're that's kind of where you live, is in the
Mhm.
feeds for a lot of accounting professionals, and they change things there. Um, what is your first impression of when there is a change? Is it something like, oh crap, they changed it again, I got to relearn it, or is it a little bit more frustration? What is your initial thought about changing something that is a core function for you?
Well, I'm sure that you're aware that even before they did this change, like ever since I first started using QuickBooks Online, they've always made little changes here and there that you could see. And so, one example would be they changed the terminology, like from ad to post or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the exact
No,
one,
you're
but
right. You're right on.
yeah,
That's
I would
exactly what it was.
yeah, so I would always, and I'm hyper vigilant like that, and I'm also one of those people where I don't like to have unread emails in my inbox, and so like I open them all the time, and I always the only things I leave in there are the things I'm currently working on. I'm like very type A like that. I don't like to have a whole bunch of just extra stuff all over the place. Whereas like my husband has 45,000 unread emails. I'm the opposite. And so it stresses me out to leave things. So I go into the bank feeds every single day. That's just my personality. And I do my firm bank feeds every day. I don't like having things sitting there waiting. I just like to put things where they belong right away. Otherwise, I get anxiety. So I'm a heavy bank feed user. And now, although I have my team and they do all of the bookkeeping and bank feed work for all of our clients, I still do a couple, and including the firm books. And so I was very, very used to seeing changes every so often. So, as a matter of fact, I never expected that it would stay the same. And so the fact that they made this big change now, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. The one thing that I'll say is that I thought we were going to get a lot more AI driven stuff. I'm not seeing any of it. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, for me, it's regressed. I used to get a lot more suggestions, and I'm not getting any of that now.
Yeah, and I think that's partially due to a lot of the accounting professional feedback. Because I think at first it suggested the wrong things,
Oh,
and then
okay.
and
Yeah.
and then people started to doubt those suggestions, and
Okay.
essentially provided the feedback. Well, if you're going to suggest something, make it useful. Um, because those suggested, like I think before, they were in the past, uh, the suggestions were dealing before all this change.
Yeah.
Um, it was mostly suggesting of rules. When you started to work with these transactions in the bank feed, it would say, "Hey, do you want to do you want to make this a rule all the time?"
Well, there was that,
It,
but they would also do a lot of category suggestions too. And that caused a lot of confusion.
yeah. Yeah, and that's a challenge, because especially if you're dealing with something that is universal, as far as the vendor or the payee is concerned, like buying a lot of stuff on Amazon,
Hmm.
right? That sometimes that could be office supplies, that could be perks, employee perks, it could be, where do you want to categorize those things? And of course, QuickBooks has an Amazon business,
Yeah.
integration, to help with those types of things. But if it's
Which,
just
by the
coming
way, I
in,
love that. I use it. I love it.
yeah, yeah, you and Sharon are fans of of
Yeah,
that.
I do. It's really, really helpful. And as a matter of fact, I just showed Deb, one of our other accountant friends, the other day. She somehow didn't know about that, and she was blown away.
Yeah. But like when you have transactions that are coming in that smell familiar, but are
Hmm.
individually different, from one to the other, that's where patterns don't help, right? And that's really what AI
Right.
is doing right now, is trying to identify the pattern and help fill that in for you. But it, in some cases, in a lot of cases, I mean, there was a huge thing about checks. When checks would come in from the bank feed, it would just have the check name,
Hmm.
and then when those payees are homogenized, right, where it's just something simple, right, a rule, or there is no pattern, because a check 101, check number 101 is certainly not going to be the same as check number 102, right? You're
Right.
going to have a different payee and different categories and things like that. And that's kind of the double-edged sword, I think, of the bank feed, is that the bank feed is very powerful and robust and allows you to do things, but just because you can do things in there doesn't mean that you should do things in there.
Exactly.
You can see a deposit and apply that to an open invoice, which you can't do in desktop. Now,
Right.
should you? Right? I mean, that's the question, is whether you should do that or not. Yes, if it's one payment and it's for the exact dollar amount, why not? Right? It's just, you're saving yourself a step. But if it's a batch deposit where there's transaction fees taken out and it's
Yeah.
supposed to be associated with uh, multiple payees, customers, then it's probably
You can
not in your
you
best
can
interest.
get yourself in really big trouble. Oh, and by the way, we have clients where they often invoice the same amount. So
Yeah.
repeatedly. So just putting it to the right amount is also can be dangerous. And I was just going to say, as much as I love the bank feeds, I think it's just such a powerful tool. And to me, it's really one of the most important features of QBO. And I know
Yeah.
that Hector Garcia shares that opinion too, and who is an incredible QBO trainer. And it's really the source of where everything goes on the financial statements, because yes, sometimes you're preloading all these things already, bills, checks, invoices, yada yada, but the bank feed is where you match up, and it's can be incredible, but it could also be the point of destruction
Yeah.
where people can really screw things up, because like you were giving an example of a check. Well, it's not always about just categorization, like where are you putting it on the P&L? No, I mean, what if it's a loan payment? It needs to go against something on the balance sheet. So you really, everything boils down to, if you're a business DIYing, you really want to make sure that you're doing yourself a favor and getting a lot of help and training from the School of Bookkeeping. But and we have a lot of other friends too that do training, but
Yeah.
you can't do it just with guesswork, because it just doesn't work, because really every single thing that you're doing in the bank feed is going to end up on a financial statement, and that takes some skill. So we actually don't none of our clients do their own bank feeds at all. This is my business model. We
Hmm.
do the bank feeds for them. Now, sometimes they preload things in there. They'll do checks, they'll do bills, they'll do invoices. We have some clients that all they do is their invoices. We take care of everything else. But I was having too much trouble with them making mistakes in the bank feed. And then you have to undo, and it just wasn't working out. So, and,
Right.
and that's probably the type of customer that comes to Net Deposited. We specialize more in e-commerce, and there's a lot of volume, and we use a lot of automation, and there's a ton of batched payouts. It's a little too complicated, I think, for your average business owner. Um, but if you're, doing kind of the traditional things that are going on in QBO, you can definitely learn.
Yep. Definitely. That's probably a good practice, or a best practice to have, is especially if you're you know doing the financials, right? I mean, that's where the rubber's going to hit the road, right? That bank feed of what's coming down in from the bank and what ultimately is reconciled. so that you can identify, you know, things that are in the register that shouldn't be there, or maybe they were
Yeah.
miscategorized or duplicated, or, you know, that's where a lot of that information is going to bubble up to the surface, um, because of the interactions with the bank feed. And so with a trained
Yeah.
professional like Rachel and her team or anyone else.
Well, even other bookkeepers and accountants that I work with, in like doing training, even it really, the trouble comes in with transfers when you're paying, instead of just going in and out, you're going from here to here in the,
Yeah.
the bank screen. You're going from one account to the other because you're either paying something or you've got PayPal, where, which, is my favorite, where we've got two movements, really. We're pulling from PayPal, or Venmo behaves this way too. If there's not a balance in it, it's pulling from it. And so there's complexity. And there's, it's something that you can get tripped up on very easily. And so even me, when I first started, I knew the concept of undeposited funds. I understand, the accounting behind it, but I couldn't figure out with the automation underneath QBO how it was working. And I was just want to like bang my head on the wall. But, then I figured it out. And now, of course, it makes perfect logical sense. But there's a learning
Right.
curve for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. So that's what we want to help eliminate here by just kind of going through the basic user interface, or the different look of the old bank feed versus the new bank feed. So I have over here, if I can just click on to show.
Well, don't show the
There it
old one
is.
because now I've already gotten used to the new one.
Right. Well, we do. Yeah, we do want to just kind of, if
I'm
you're
just
still
kidding.
sitting, if you're still sitting on the old one, maybe this will help,
I
push you over
forgot what
the
the old
edge.
one looked like.
Exactly. So I've got two tabs here, two different companies. One's in the old bank feed and one's in the new. So we really just kind of want to go through the major areas of the bank feed, just kind of give an idea of what you're in for, and maybe what you can do versus what you couldn't do. One of the first things is the terminology. You mentioned it before, right? You have these three sections of transactions here in the bank feed. I can't remember what the keyboard shortcut is to make this. There it is. Okay, I can zoom in there. All right. So we've got for review, categorized, and excluded in the new bank feed. It's the terminology is just called differently. It's pending, posted, and excluded, right? So
Oh yeah, that's
these
right.
these terms are designed to help make more sense as to what's actually happening, right? The pending transactions, for review, like what is for review, right? But pending just makes more sense as to what pending, they're pending
Yeah.
transactions. They're not in the register, they're not posted yet. So pending and posted tends to make more logical sense as to what that actually means between the two.
Yeah, I
um,
agree.
yep. And then down here, on the right side, you correctly said in the old actually we do have, oh, get away there, it's following me. The magnifier's following me. This has this action column here in the old one, which was add or match, right?
Yeah,
It would say
that's
add
right.
if it didn't find a match. It would say match if it found a match, right? So um, what does that mean, right? Add versus match, where this terminology of match versus categorize still has some confusion to it, because I've have heard some of the feedback of, wait a minute, this doesn't, what what's match versus categorize. um,
Right.
but it's designed again to kind of align with what you're actually doing when it comes to that, right? So then, just in the banking area here, the tiles are smaller, right? So, so you have more
Mhm.
real estate when you're dealing with the particular bank accounts. Up here in the old one, they're a little larger, so it's just taking up a little more room. room there. And then as far as editing, like if you wanted to edit the account in these different tiles, it's this little tiny pencil. We'll zoom in a little bit. And then you have this option of editing the account or disconnecting. Over in the new, the pencil's already right there, right? You don't have to go hunting for the pencil. It's right there. And then you have, links right there, right? So they've made the space usable, a little bit more usable than it was with those account tiles. So that's one of the other bigger, changes or noticeable changes that you have in the new bank feed. The other thing that we want to kind of go through here is this mini gear. You call it the baby gear.
I do.
I think
I don't
somebody
know.
called it.
No, I don't call it baby gear. I don't know. Maybe that's
Right.
Sharon. No,
Yeah.
I just call it the gear wheel down there.
Right. There are far too many gears.
Yeah.
In
There's
QuickBooks,
gear
at
in the
least.
upper right and that one down there.
Yeah. So this one here is not the gear that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the settings gear, which is actually smaller than what other people have referred to as the baby gear. But
Yeah.
this gear, and you'll see this on any screen inside of QuickBooks that has options on the screen that you're looking at. You'll have that gear in here, and you can now add additional columns so that you have some default columns that are there by default. But any other columns with a check mark can be added an additional, customized as additional columns to see, right? So if you want to see the check number field, you can add that. If you want to see the customer column, you can add that. Whether it's billable or not, you can add that right there on the grid. And then of course you can renumber them or reorder them. That's what I was looking for. You can move those things around because you have that universal 6-dot thing that indicates that you can move these things around. Over here in the old one, you don't, right? You have 4 options of check number, class, and in this case it was labeled as business, which is location tracking. But that's really all that you have, right? And you can't reorder them. So if you have a preferred workflow and it works best by going from left to right, the column order may be super helpful with that, right? Going down this gear now, we have automation of adding new vendors,
So nice.
which was an option in here, right? You did have an option in the old one to
Oh, I didn't
automatically
realize
add
that.
new vendors. Yeah, well,
Wait,
it was
would
only
it?
available under the gear, so
Oh,
who knew it was
but
there?
does it actually add it, or does it pop up a screen that you can then add it?
Well, it says we add common vendors to your transactions and vendor list only applies to future transactions.
Hmm.
So it would. Well, I mean, I don't know for sure if it would automatically add the new vendors, or if it actually would suggest adding new vendors. But those options are there on both old and new, right?
Okay.
And now we have some other preferences here, and we'll comb through those. Let's take a look in the old, right? So we had some transaction details there. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Wow. You're allergic to the bank fee.
I know. No, I love the new bank
You love
fees.
Right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options here in the old. In the new, we have 7. No, 8. So group and sort by column, right? So you have options there to group and sort by, right? And this sorts by whatever column is sorted, then that's how it's going to group, right? So if we've got it sorted by group, by date, then that's the way it's going to group, and then you can expand and collapse those areas. But if you sorted by bank description, it's going to group and sort by that. I think anything can be, well, I shouldn't say anything. um, spent can be sorted, received can be sorted, customer cannot. From and to can be sorted, and whether you're matching or, well, let's see, that doesn't make matching or categorizing. Oh, it does it by account in this case. So
Mm.
whatever account it's suggesting
Oh,
to
okay.
categorize.
Yeah.
So that's an option in here, which was an option in the old one. It's just worth repeating. Show
Well, wait a
amount
minute.
as,
You mean if you sort it by that, it's sorting it by suggested account.
yeah, on that particular one. But you do
Uh-huh.
have the grouping. But
Yeah.
this was only by turn on grouping or turn it off. Um, I don't know if you can, if it group.
See,
Oh, it
that's
does. Okay, so it does the same thing in the old one. By whatever is sorted by. Again, it's just uh, sitting, splitting it out, or explicitly saying what is actually going to be grouping by. What were you
yeah.
going to say?
Well, I was just going to say that, anytime they're adding something like that that is involved in any suggested account into it, it just, I don't know, like in my new version that I'm using, it will not only will it sometimes suggest the wrong thing for something that I constantly have coming into my bank feed. Sometimes it'll just leave it blank. And I'm like, and it's something I forgot to create a rule. Usually I'll create a rule for everything, but it's something I would have forgotten. And I know it's come in many times. You don't want to throw a suggestion for that one. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
that's the problem that I have is not only is it giving you false suggestions, sometimes it's giving you no suggestions. And so all I do is worry. Like, I'm like, if I were maybe an untrained person, I just wouldn't know and I could butcher. And so what it does for me is it just gives me a lot of stress because I'm sitting there going, who's getting this wrong out there? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I just hope that they can maybe get a handle on that. That's all I'm saying. That would be really great. By
Good
the way,
feedback.
I don't know anybody who, well, that's not true. I never use it on 50, but I can't understand anybody that leaves their review on 50. To
Right.
me, that's an utter insanity. I'm a 300 gal all the way.
Yeah, I had a conversion from desktop to online. They thought um, that or the majority of their chart of accounts didn't come over because of
Uh-huh.
the pagination of
Yeah.
of the chart of accounts. They're like, there's only 75 accounts or 50 accounts or whatever it is on that. I'm like, well, there's the next page.
Yeah.
But yes, having 300 transactions on one page is a lot easier to work with, scrolling up and
Yeah.
down, especially when you have these groupings turned on.
Uh-huh.
Um, so the next option here is showing amount as spent and received. So without this selected, what happens is the amount is positive or negative, and just a dollar amount
Oh, yeah.
that
And I
shows in
think the
here.
one in the old QBO was put in one column or two column, right? Like the way that it was
hmm
worded.
Yeah, the wording was, show amounts in one column.
Yeah.
So it's actually reversed the option by the way that they've worded
Yeah.
it. Checking it here shows in one column. Checking it in the new shows it in two columns. Right. All right. So making date an editable field. Do you use that regularly when you're
I never changed the
never
date.
changing it? Yeah,
Uh-uh.
because that posts. You know, I mean, I guess I could see a case for it, a use case for it, when because things don't show as posted in the bank account until they actually hit the bank account,
Yeah.
and maybe that's over the end or beginning of a
Yes,
month, and
exactly.
you want that to be explicitly in the right one, rather than editing the transaction and then editing the date. You can do it right from the bank feed.
I almost never have that issue. So for me, it's very, very rare. Usually for me, the date that it comes in the bank feed is usually the bank statement date. So I'm the bank statement is gold kind of gal. So I don't like to monkey with the dates.
Right. Good idea. Then we have show full bank description, and then copying the full bank description to the memo.
Oh, I
So
like
whatever.
that. Ooh,
So
cool.
whatever. When we expand the section here, this is what comes in from the bank itself, right? So if you want to see that on the detail of the transaction, you can do that. And if you want that then to automatically go into the memo, that's what those options will do. Did it do that in the old one? I'm double checking here. They call it show bank details and copy bank detail to memo. So they
Very
were
cool.
they were functions in the old bank feed. They were just called something different, but they are the same thing. Then here's the enable suggested categorization, which may or may not be what you want. And then what do they call it in the new one? Well, there's a new one. Actually, they don't even have that as an option here. You don't get a choice, which is about that. So we've got alternating row color, right? Which is every other row is colored differently, so you know when a new row starts and begins
That's
or
huge.
ends, which is nice. Showing matching categorized toggle in line. I've never actually played with this one, so let's see what that does. Oh, this is what it does. It takes that action column as we had before and just turns it into a drop down when you don't have that checked. So
Oh.
you've got an action drop down with go away you.
What are the options? Can you go on that arrow again?
Yeah,
Because
let
I
me go
can't
in.
see. Hold on.
So we have split
Oh,
where
yeah.
you can split it. We
Cool.
have create backdated bill, which this is the new feature that I haven't
Oh, are
even
you
played you with yet.
kidding me? That is so cool.
Hector is shouting this one from from the YouTube
Yeah.
rooftops, which is really cool.
Yes.
And creating a rule is an action, categorization history, and then whether or not you can exclude it or not. So without that, or with that selected, or where did I put it again? Oh, show match categorize toggle in line. It puts it. Oh, wait a minute. It puts this right here, so you can toggle to match or categorize. The action's still there, so you still have the action drop down. It's just this match categorize toggling option in the same line. So it actually didn't. We didn't shouldn't get excited about that option. All that does is just take this out. So now you don't have that match or toggle, but you do have the option. How can you match the transaction if you want to? Oh, there it is. It's in here.
Yeah.
So in order to see that and get to matching, if you know that this was a transaction that should be already entered, you got to open the transaction like that and toggle it to match at that point.
Yeah.
So if you find that you're doing a lot of matching, you may want to turn that on so that you can uh, find that match quicker because it's already in line. And then warning if you're missing a vendor / customer, which is a huge thing for um, people that are working in the bank feed, and a lot of times things just get added without a payee.
Yep.
Really just plays havoc
That's
on
nice.
reports. So you can have a warning about that, and then of course your favorite, Rachel, is the page size. How many
Oh,
transactions?
50. The 50. Oh, I can't stand it. By the way, the adding the vendor thing, I mean, sometimes you just do it inadvertently,
Mm-hmm.
and so I know I do. Sometimes I'm always in a hurry. So, um, sorry. Yeah. So anyway, I like that. But you know what? The backdating the bill is um a huge deal
Mm-hmm.
because then you don't have to stop what you're doing and open up another screen and go in and create a bill because I like the bills, especially the things that are coming in through the bank feeds on random days. I like having the bill on the first of the month. I'm just,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just anal like that. And
Yeah.
some people are that do what we do. And it's really the ultimate form of organization. And so, I don't always want everything just hitting the books exactly when it comes in through the bank feed. So this is very nice.
Yeah. And then we have other functionality that you don't have in the old bank feed, which is the files and requests, which are new columns in here. So let me get rid of some of these old ones or these other ones so that we can see. Well, let's come on now. Oh, I can't uncheck. I can't uncheck these. I can uncheck the ones that are in blue. So let's see here. Close this up here. So two features or functions that you have in the bank feed, right on the bank feed, is this files, right? So it gives you the ability to upload or attach a file to the transaction. So you're not, especially if you have it downloaded, which is that's what it's going to do, is going to pop up a Explorer or Finder window so that you can browse and attach the file. And then you'll also be able to send a request right here in the bank feed itself, right? So if you have a request to your customer to provide more context as to what this is actually for, if it's one of those generic checks or generic payees that you don't know who to assign it to for the customer, if it's associated with a job expense or something like that, you can put in that request there. It sends a ping to the customer through QuickBooks, and it's my understanding that they can respond to those requests without opening their QuickBooks. But I've not received a request, so I don't know. I don't
I
know for
don't know
sure. Have you
either.
ever used? You haven't used the request more info feature?
No, not, I mean, because we use something else, but
Got it.
no, I've never tried that.
Well,
But it's a
it's
very cool
available.
feature.
Yeah, especially if you're living there and you don't want to go someplace else.
Hmm.
This allows you to kind of stay in one place. And then I think that is it for the new banking user interface. Okay, so the other thing, no, we don't. That is not it. So when you expand on the transactions, you're going to start to see over here on the right side. This is where the suggestions come in. You have this option here for um, categorization history. So transactions posted to this particular vendor, it'll list um, how many times this category was used, so that you're not wondering.
Hmm.
In the past, what did they put, T-Mobile to? Was it utilities? Was it telephone? Was it, um, wasted expense? Depending on your opinion of T-Mobile. Um,
I see what you did there.
yeah, yeah, we used to call it T maybe in our family because they had these dead spots around town.
Maybe.
Maybe it'll make a phone call. Um, but yeah, you have that option in here to be able to see the categorization
And if
history.
you're Rachel, when you open up that categorization history in your firm books, you'll see dues and subscriptions, cloud apps, IT, a mix
All
of all
sorts
three
of
because
different
I'm too
ones.
lazy to do rules.
Right, right. And then you have the option to post, split, create a rule, or exclude the transaction. You will also see the different types of transactions that you want it to make. Uh, and then you'll be able to select categories. Now, you
Wait, what
used
is
to be
that?
able,
What is that last one? Hold on. What does that say? Oh, customer project. Okay.
yeah, customer project, and then you also have products and services. So you can split or associate the entire transaction to a product or service and let the product or service do the accounting side of things. So, uh, and then mark it billable if you put it to a customer or a project. And there's still tags floating around. So,
Yeah, because remember when we talked about that on a workshop Wednesday, they ended up not getting rid of them
right,
because
they
there's
were
something else. But
exactly.
wait, let me
So,
ask you about the product service.
mhm.
Um, does it will it allocate it to inventory items or no?
I don't know if this company has inventory items. I'm sure you can. Let's just see.
Because if it does that, I mean, that's a big time saver.
See here. Looking for, yeah, they do have some this bull gear. Let's just see if
Yeah,
we
because
can't.
I was gonna say I would think that it doesn't do it for inventory items because that's not really how you're not following the purchase order and the receive and the those things
Yep,
if you're
nope,
doing it
they're
like
there.
this.
They're
Huh.
there. I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, yeah, again, it's probably not something. This is probably falls into the category of just because you can do it this way
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you
I
should do
wouldn't
it this way.
yeah,
You know,
I
you would
wouldn't
want to
recommend
have
it.
a purchase order, you would want to have an item receipt, you would want to have, a bill,
Yeah.
those types of posting transactions so that you can um, separate or segregate those events rather
Yeah.
than
I
homogenizing them under one
I agree. And I
transaction.
think if you're managing your inventory in QBO and you're using the inventory function, I feel like best practice is
Don't
to
do
really
that.
follow their inventory workflow and then match it to the bill all you want out of the bank
Mhm.
feed. But
Yeah. But I can see a good use case for non-inventory parts or
yeah,
service
totally.
items,
Yeah.
especially when they're expenses, right? So
Yep.
if you have you paid a subcontractor and you want to
Yep.
put expense categories to that, and you already have subcontractor or cost codes or things like
Yep.
that already
For sure.
established, and you want to use and maintain the same workflow for revenue versus expenses. Perfect use
Yes,
case for that. But please
definitely.
don't receive inventory from the bank, from the bank fee. It's a little extra. And then as far as what's in posted, they are the same. It's just again, instead of calling it um, categorized, or what is the term in the old one? Now I've forgotten what it is. Yeah, it is categorized.
But that's that
It's
even in the old one, they changed that back and forth a little bit.
yeah, and you have some filters in here so that you can look for posted transactions. I did want to go back to pending because you do have this drop down. This is the same, um, except
Wow.
you now have if you're looking at 300 transactions like Rachel does all
Yeah.
the time, and you want to focus in on you know a certain type of transaction first, you can do that with, well, let's say we're going to work on the money in transactions first, or we're going to
Did they
work
have
on
all
the
those
money out.
filters in the old one?
They did
Hmm.
they were here. We got money in, money out, suggested match,
Oh, okay, okay.
rules,
Yeah, I
missing
see.
payee, uncategorized, right? So,
Mhm.
um, you have a few more drop downs in here or options in here because there's functions associated with them. So requests, you can filter for things that are waiting for a reply, or if a reply has been received. Now that they've communicated that request answer back to you, you can filter for requests where the reply has been received, so you can work through those. And then, of course, you have your date filter. So if you want to focus in on one particular month or week or day, you can do that here in the dates, or just search. Just do
Yeah.
a search. Hopefully, you know what you're looking for because it's only going to show you based on what you type in there.
You know what filter they don't have, which I want, is to filter and also sort filter and or sort is matched, the things that found a match
They got
versus not
suggested
finding a match.
matches. Yeah, the suggested matches uh, is a filter.
Oh, it is? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I must have missed that one before. Okay. Never mind. Don't listen to me. Because sometimes I just want to see what was matched.
Right.
Because you know what I mean? Sometimes if I'm looking at the 300 view, I mean, sometimes I really only want to deal with the ones that are matches right now. And then I'll deal with the other ones later, you know?
Yeah. And someone watching on YouTube, the Ledger Artist, they said the bank description to memo is a must.
Yes.
So
I agree with you.
big
I
fan.
think that is so great.
Yeah, because otherwise you're
Because
having
and
to
it really
go.
means when you're looking in the like if you're looking on the sub ledger, then that's in the memo and that's really nice.
Yeah, then that's going to flow into reports,
Yeah.
where rather than having to look at the transaction and then identify, oh, there's an online banking match in the upper right, and you hover over that, and
Yes.
hopefully your mouse doesn't move so that you can actually read it. And
It
then,
feels like that's was maybe a bookkeeper or accountant suggestion. And then they said, yeah, that's great. Let's do it. And then they did, you know, it feels like it came from us.
yes, it sounds like someone who uses it a lot probably put in that
Yes.
suggestion and was either burnt by the nuisance of clicking around and wasting time to try to find something that could have just been copied into the memo.
Wait, back to the suggested match thing for a second. So you can filter, but can you sort the suggested matches? I don't think so.
Well, I don't have anything in here that actually has a match.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. So that's kind of an overview of the new banking user interface. There is and always will be a lot of resources and focus, not just from the accounting community, but also the Intuit development about making this more usable, right? And when there is a huge change, and sometimes it takes a step back on the bank feed, you're interrupting people's workflow. You know that work in there on a regular basis. Things get a little personal sometimes about like, hey, what are you doing messing with my stuff here? It I think in general the feedback initially was, you know, this is why are we making these changes? It was working just fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But there are things that they can that we just covered here that are kind of cool, you know, and that
Yeah,
are ultimately going to move this forward.
I think the benefits outweigh the negative.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
leave it like this just for a while, though, into it.
Yeah, don't change it so fast.
Yeah.
Right the next time. Right? Like, okay, we heard all your feedback and we're implementing it all. No, don't do that. So next time we're going to be talking about the global navigation bar, which is this option up here at the top. And if time permits, or we may go into another workshop, we'll talk about some of the tools that you can use to help streamline the user interface woes that a lot of people may have, especially if you're moving from desktop to online, and you know it's a brand new drop in the deep end of the pool inside of the user interface inside of QuickBooks. So we'll
You
see
mean
you
like
next
right
time.
tool?
Like Right Tool, and we'll talk about the desktop app that QuickBooks makes available. So we'll talk about those things on upcoming workshops, and we will see you next time on the Workshop Wednesday. Hopefully everybody has a great week.